Hello everyone, it's time for another Cardfight Vanguard deck profile, this time on my Spectral Duke Dragon from Clan Selection Plus. Near the end of this V-series, alright? Yeah, it took a while. So I built this deck because it looks awesome, nothing more to say. So how this deck plays, it plays very similar to Sanctuary Guard. It basically has a main Vanguard that gains crit, and it also plays in a way where it's kind of a Force Clan, kind of. But, well, it plays by force-based numbers in the Excel clan. That's basically what it is. So it basically has similarities to Sanctuary Guard Dragon, where you must have like a good number of rear guards for its full benefits. Although this one gains a much more drive checks in return. Plays very similar to its original counterpart, where of course you sacrifice to do restanding, and you might just make this card into a Shadow Paladin, but I don't know why they make this card to a Gold Paladin, but hey, whatever. But no more wasting time, and let's get started with the deck profile with which gift type you want to choose. I would still stick with Excel 2 because it gives you the draw. But in this deck, you are going to go through your deck quite a lot. I'm just going to say that. But at the same time, you do want the extra draw because you want to fill up your rear guards too. So the more you sacrifice, the more you're going to be losing rear guards. So the extra draw can actually be very helpful to fill up your rear guards. So no more wasting time and get started with the main deck. So of course we start off with our main front card, the 4 Spectral Duke Dragons. Its ability is that while you have a Black Dragonite Vortimer in Soul, its base power is 13k. So basically it takes reminiscences of its original self of having the right chain of gain power, and I'm glad that they kind of brought this back, but it's all the way at the end of the V series, unfortunately. But I'm glad that they bring it back. But if your opponent's grade is also at grade 3, while you have the Black Dragonite Vortimer and Soul, it also gains a crit during your turn. So it's a 13k base with a crit. Unfortunately, unlike Force Clans, this one doesn't get the imaginary gift Force for its power. So, because it's all Excel Clan, unfortunately. So there's that difference compared to Sanctuary Guard, you could say. But the second ability already plays similar to Sanctuary Guard as it is, because it's a once per turn where you can Counterblast 1 to retire 3 of your rear guards after when it attacks. You can restand it, and it drive -1. But if you have 4 more damage, aka Limit Break, you get the drive check instead. So first attack, 13k, or in many cases it will be 21k because you will be boosting with 2 crits, and then use its skill to retire 3 for restand for at least 13k with 2 crits, but 3 drive checks. So that's pretty strong right there, but this card has the problem with power, and you could already see that with its skill because it restands without much power, and it's just 13k base with a crit, so the crit won't put too much pressure if you're low on power. So you will need to build up some power for this deck. Next, we go to my kind of backup ride is Bluish Flame Liberator Percival, which has the skill when it's on Vanguard. All your additional rearguard units get plus 5k power. Not too bad, but you don't use it for that reason because you use it for its second skill, where on Vanguard rearguard, counterblast 1 and discard a card. Call 1 Aglovel from your deck or drop zone to rearguard. But you also get the imaginary gift Excel as well. So first you get the Excel marker, which of course you have to play its ability too, because if you chose Excel 2, you draw a card, and then you call the Aglovel. That's pretty good. It's essentially Excel marker generation. That's what it is. And of course, what's nice about it is that you get the imaginary gift first before you can call the Aglovel. So having filled up rear guards is not a problem. And of course, Aglovel is also a pretty strong beater, so that's another reason. But it is a hard once per turn. There's also that. So that's it for my grade 3 lineup. But one grade 3 I can suggest is Full Caliber Dragon, because like I said before, Spectral Duke Dragon does lack power, and what Full Caliber Dragon will do is that it could Superior Call the top card of your deck and give your Vanguard 5k power. It kind of refills your field and then gives some extra power, so it does help as well. But unfortunately, this deck doesn't really have that much space because I have a lot of cards I like to play. Like in the grade 2 lineups, I played the Black Dragonite Vortimer. One of the rare grade 2s that have 3 skills, because it has the Ride Chain skill, where if your soul has Scout of Darkness Vortimer, it becomes a 10k base on Vanguard or Rearguard. So that, of course, is nice. But its second skill, when it's retired by an ability, you can put it to soul to countercharge 1, so you got your countercharger right there. But its third skill, which is of course going to be part of the ride chain skill, where when you ride your Spectral Duke Dragon, you can look at top 5 cards of your deck and superior call 2 of them. So you get a +2 out of it. Of course, it's restricted to Spectral Duke Dragon because of ride chain purposes. But hey, this card helps with countercharging, part of your ride chain too. So of course you want to play 4. And because you play Percival, I also play Aglavel. Now I played 3 because you could also call it from drop zone, so it's not an issue to get this out. But there's another grade 2 that I prefer to play because it gives you a call. But when placed on Vanguard, you can counterblast 1 to superior call a card from your deck, but you don't really do that. But it is considered a backup ride if you really need to. But second skill is the main part where it's on rearguard. When it attacks, you can put another rearguard to soul to give it 10k power. At the end of the battle, return it to your hand, which is actually can be pretty helpful against control decks, by the way. You can always put your rearguards to soul, so then your opponent can't retire, thus giving you a resource, and put this card to your hand, which could prevent your opponent from even killing this card, and it's an extra 5k shield, which you can recycle, by the way. And it's also a nice speeder. Finally, I run Kaiden. You don't really have to run this card if you don't run Hoel, but I run that too because I prefer this one. You could run Vivian as well. You could run Perry more. Some people do that. But Kaiden lets you look at top 3 for a call, but it costs a counterblast and a discard. But if you call Hoel, you could do an extra draw. If you want to, you can run Vivian because Soul is not much of an issue, kind of. But you do want to keep your consistent ride chain in Soul because you want full benefits for your ride chain. But like I said, Soul is not too much of an issue because you are going to get quite a bit of Soul through your abilities, especially with Aglavel. There's also the option of Parry More, but one thing I don't like about Parry More is that you have to call from hand just for your plus, and I never really like those. I prefer to have a straight up call from deck, although this one is restricted from top 3, so it's not too much different to Parry More. I am considering running Parry More because of this, because this one causes a discard. So that's it for the grade 2 lineup, and now to the grade 1 lineup. You of course run the Scout of Darkness Vortimir. It has the classic ride chain. When ride on Vanguard, you look top 7 for your grade 2 or grade 3 ride chain, aka the Black Dragon Knight Vortimir or Spectral Duke Dragon. But the second skill, of course, is the main skill, where when retired by card ability, you can put a soul to give 5k power to your Vanguard, which of course will be very helpful for your Spectral Duke Dragon. And then next, grade 3 Searcher, because grade 3 Searcher, you don't really need that many grade 3s or anything. You just really need to ride Spectral Duke Dragon, that's it. Of course, Percival is very helpful for some extra zones and all that. And because I run Kaiden, I of course have to run Hoel, because of course it gives it for extra plus. Of course, Hoel will also give some power to itself when a card is called in the same column as this unit, and if it happens to be Kaiden, it gets 10k instead of 5k. So there's that. But like I said before, if you're not going to run Kaiden, you of course don't run Hoel. There's other cards that you can run. You could, like I said before, you could run full Caliber Dragon and take out like 2 of the grade 1 slots because of it, and maybe run another grade 1, like the old grade 1 that gets Soul Counterblast and Soul Blast, a superior call the top card of your deck because that can replenish your field. So there's that too. But I personally prefer Kaiden and Hoel. And then finally, for my last grade 1, you of course have to run Din Drain, because Din Drain gives you your pluses and counter charge if needed. I normally use it for the draw, and of course Counterblast is not super heavy. I'm going to be honest with you. Drawing the card is actually much more helpful for this deck. My starter is Spring Breeze Messenger. I really wish we got the grade 0 Vortimer. And then my lineup, of course, will be 8 crits, 4 draws, of course also being PG, and of course the 4 heals. Alright, that's it for this deck profile. It might be very similar to some other YouTubers who probably already done this deck profile, but I have done some recommendations, and maybe I will probably make few changes for the deck, as some stuff might be much better than current cards I play for this deck, but currently I like it the way it is, and overall I actually have fun with this deck, similar to playing Sanctuary Guard and Excel deck too. This one's pretty fun. I also like Spectral Duke's design, which is another reason why I had to play it. But other than that, I am still wondering why this is not Shadow Paladin. And have a nice day.